Hey guys, I'm Virati of class 7. In this video, I'll explain the chapter 1 of Biology of Pearson Foundation class 7 textbook. So let us start with the chapter 1, which is basis of classification. Let's start reading. Remember, before beginning this chapter, you should be able to recall examples of some plant and animals. Remember the primary structure of a cell. So before learning this chapter, we should be able to recall the examples of plants and animals and remember the primary structure of a cell. And after completing this chapter, we will be able to understand the need of classification of living organism, that why we need to classify living organism, follow the rules of writing scientific names. After this, we will follow the rule of writing scientific name, describe the Aristotle system of classification. After reading the chapter, we will be able to describe the Aristotle system of classification, explain 2 kingdoms of classification, and summarize 5 kingdoms of classification. So let's get started with the reading of this chapter. So let's read. Introduction. There are millions of organisms present on the earth. Many of them are yet to be discovered. The living organisms present on the earth somehow differ in their structure, the place where they live, habitat, mode of nutrition, etc. These organisms range from small microscopic organisms like bacteria to animal, plant, etc. It is possible to study them individually and define learning method is essential. There lies a need for classification. So it is telling the introduction why we need to classify living organism. So it is saying there are millions of organisms present on the earth and there are many to be discovered yet. And living organisms have different structure, the place where they live, mode of nutrition, and many other things on which the basis they can be classified. The organism can be as small as microorganism to that of the whale. So means animal organisms can be small as microscope and giant as a blue whale. So we cannot study every animal, so we have classified them and we can read only one example of that category to relate the other animals. So let's read further. Need for classification. Biological classification is the process by which scientists classify living organisms into various groups based on how similar are they. So biological classification is the process in which scientists classify living organisms on how they are same. Like if we take example of aerobic and anaerobic, aerobic needs oxygen for respiration and anaerobic do not need oxygen for respiration. So there are many classifications. Let's take one more example. Let's take some basic example like plants and animals. So plants categories which come an animal category in which all animals come. Let's read further. These classifications enable us to study organisms in groups. These advantages of biological classification are as given below. Helps in study of variety of organisms present on earth. Help us to know about the similarities and difference between various organisms. Help us to know whether 2 different organisms have similar origin or not. So here they are telling the advantages of classification. So it helps us to learn variety of organisms present on the earth. So if we particularly take 1, 2, 3 animals, we can read only countable number of animals. But if we see the classification, we can learn about more variety of animals. So it helps us to know about similarities and differences between the 2 animals, and it helps us to identify whether two different organisms have same origin or not. Let's see further. Taxonomy, the area of study which involves identification and classification of living organisms and also giving them proper scientific name, is known as taxonomy. So now they are telling us about taxonomy. Taxonomy is an area of study which involves identification and classification of living organisms and also giving them scientific name, and this is known as taxonomy. The scientists involved in the study are called taxonomists. So many names are given, like the one who studies about animals is known as zoologist, and the one who studies about plants is known as botanist. So the one who identifies and classifies living organisms is known as taxonomist. Carolus Linnaeus is known as the father of taxonomy. So Carolus Linnaeus is known as father of taxonomy. Let's read further. Binomial nomenclature. The system of naming organism is called nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature involves giving names which have two parts, a genus name followed by a species name. For example, scientific name of human is Homo sapien, where the name of genus and sapiens is the name of the species. So it is telling about binomial nomenclature. So it is telling binomial nomenclature involves giving scientific name in two words by the genus and the species name. Like the scientific name of humans is Homo sapiens, in which Homo is the genus name and sapiens is the name of the species. Now here are given some scientific name of the plant, some common plants and animal. So I will read all the scientific name. Mango, which is the common names which we use in our daily life. So mango is Magnifera indica, in which genus name is Magnifera and species name is indica. Papaya, Quercia papaya, in which Quercia is the genus name and papaya is the species name. Pineapple, Ananas cosmos, in which ananas is the genus name and commosus is the species name. Apple, Malus pumila, in which the Malus is the genus name and pumila is the species name. Dog, Canis familiaris, in which Canis is the genus name and familiaris is the species name. Cat is Felis catus, in which Felis is the genus name and Catus is the species name. Tiger, which is Panthera tigris, in which Panthera is the genus name and Tigris is the species name. Cow, which is Bos Taurus, in which Bos is the genus name and Taurus is the species name. Lion, which is Panthera leo, in which the genus name is Panthera and species name is leo. Universal rule of nomenclature. Following are the universal rule for classification. Genus names start with the capital letter. So here in this they are telling the universal rule for nomenclature, in which how we can the rules to write the scientific name, in which genus name always start with the capital letter, species name always start with the small letter, and when handwritten, when we have to write with hand, the scientific name should be underlined separately. Like you can and when type, the name should be in italics. Like you can see here all the names are written in italics because it is printed. Here also Homo sapiens is written in italics, so it is a universal rule. If we have typed, then it is written it has to be written in italics, and when it is handwritten, it should be underlined. So, and when we have to write the genus name, it should always start with the capital letter, and when we have to write the species name, it will always start with the small letter. Like you can see here, all these are the genus name and all are starting with capital letter, and the second which are the species are all starting with the small letter. Now let's read further. Hierarchy of classification. Classification of organism into different level is called hierarchy of classification. There are 7 levels of classification as given below. So now they are telling hierarchy of classification. Hierarchy of classification is classifying organism in different level. There are 7 levels which are given below. Now they are starting from the lowest to the highest level. The lowest is a species and the highest is the kingdom. So let's start with the species. Lowest level of the classification, which includes individual organism with similar character members of all species categorized by their ability interbreed among themselves. For example, cat. All cat came under the same species, catus. So now let's read for genus. Consists of species of organism which have common character. For example, lion and tiger come under the same genus, Panthera. So it consists of many species which have common characters, like tiger, lion have same characters, so they are known as Panthera. Now let's move further to family. Consists of groups of related genera. For example, lion, tiger and cat come under the same family, Felidae. So it consists of many groups of related genera. Genera means genus only. So many genus which are related come under family. Like lion, tiger, cat. We say na they come, lion and tiger come under same family. So and these lion, tiger and cat come under same family, Felidae. Let's move further. Order. Consist of related families. For example, lion, tiger, cat, wolf come under the same order, Carnivora. So it consists of related families like lion, tiger, cat, wolf. They are related families. So they come under the same order, which is Carnivora. Class. It is a group of related orders. Now it is like genus is related species, family is related genus, order is related family, and class is related orders. So it is a group of related orders like Carnivora and order Primerates, which include human, come under the same class, Mammalia. So class is related order. It is giving example like carnivore and order Primerate, which include human, come under the same class, Mammalia. Phylum. Now phylum is related class. Phylum includes classes which like Mammalia, aves, reptiles, Pisces. Mammalia is human, aves birds, reptilia reptile, Pisces are fishes. Kingdom. Now all related phylum come under the kingdom. Like all animal come under kingdom Animalia. Now examples like genus Panthera, lion, tiger. Family Felidae, lion, tiger, cat. Order Carnivora, lion, tiger, cat. Wolf. Class Mammalia, lion, tiger, cat, wolf, human beings. Phylum Chordata, lion, tiger, cat, wolf, fish, bird, reptile, human beings. And kingdom, which is Animalia, which include all the animals. History of classification. One of the earliest methods of classification was proved by ancient Greek scientist Aristotle. He classified living organisms in two groups, plants and animals. So they are telling about the history of classification, in which a Greek scientist called Aristotle, he classified living organisms in two basic groups, which are plants and animals. Now, plants which are based on stem are further classified in herb, shrub, trees. So herbs, they have no woody stem. They are like creepers or shrub. They have thick and they have weak stem. Shrubs which have small woody stem, and trees which have big trunks. Now, animal which are based on places where they live. Aerial means air, like birds. Water, aquatic means water, which like fishes and aquatic animals. And terrestrial lands, animals which live on land. So, herb, shrub, trees, which are the plants for the classification, and aerial, aquatic and land, which are for the classification of animals. So, they have given photos. Now, two kingdom classification. Let's see further. A scientist named Linnaeus introduced two kingdoms of classification, in which he classified all living organisms in two kingdoms, Animalia and Plantae. Classification was based on how they obtain their food and their ability to move. So, now it is like same only. Another scientist named Linnaeus introduced two kingdom classification, in which two kingdoms are Animalia and Plantae, in which classification was based how they obtain their food and how they move. Like plants, they can't move and produce their own food using the raw material, and animals which move but can't produce their own food using the raw materials. Now, five kingdom classification. Five kingdom classification was proposed by R.H. Whittaker, and he classified organism into five kingdoms, such as Monera, fungi, Animalia, Protistia, and Plantae. So, another scientist came and he proposed five kingdom classification of animals, which is Monera. In all, he introduced five classification: Monera, fungi, Animalia, Protistia, and Plantae. So, it is given two kingdoms, which is by Linnaeus is Plantae and Animalia, and five kingdom classification, which is R.H. Whittaker, Monera, Protistia, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. So, three important characters selected for five kingdom of classification were cellular organization, body organization, and mode of nutrition. So, how these five classification, on what basis were these five classification done? Were cellular organization, body organization, and mode of nutrition. So, in this video, I'll explain till here only. In the next video, I'll explain the further part, which includes the topic cellular organization, prokaryotics and eukaryotics, body organization, mode of nutrition, and all that five kingdoms. So, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any queries related to this chapter, please drop it in the comment section below. I'll surely try to solve it in the next video. Till then, goodbye.